Hey YouTube world, I am back with another video. I know there has been a lot of buzz about the new price increase that just happened this past week in 2023. Not a shocker, but there has been a lot of video, a lot of articles talking about the old prices and new prices, so I won't really talk too much on that. You can definitely check those videos out. But what I want to focus on today is a different conversation. Should you be buying new, or would you want to be taking a look at the vintage route? I'll talk a little bit about the pieces I do have. There's one missing. Altogether, I do have 5 Chanel pieces. The last piece is in Chicago, so I don't have it here to show it, but that's okay. It's the medium classic flap. So in the caviar, nothing new. You can definitely look at brand new pieces online. So I don't think we're missing much there. So I will talk about the prices that I paid for these particular pieces as well as the medium flap. Do a little bit of price comparison between Europe as well as the US. That way you can make an informed decision on what route you want to take moving forward if you still want to buy a Chanel piece and add it to your collection, or maybe it's your first Chanel piece and you still want to add it to, make it part of your dream bag. I'll talk a little bit about the vintage pricing. Of course, that could be changing relatively soon, but again, something to think about so that you can move on, decide what is the best route for you. So the first two pieces I'm going to talk about are my 2 wallet-on chains. This one I got from a Japanese retailer, which I'll link down below if you want to check out their website. And I got this last year, and this is the wallet on change, and it's the Camellia. I did a full review on the wallet on chains if you're interested in checking those out, if you're in the market for buying a wallet on chain. I really do think that Chanel has done a really good job with creating their wallet on chains. And this one in particular, I did buy for about $1,800, all said and done. Actually, scratch that. That was actually about $2,000 after paying customs when it arrived here in the States. And I was looking for this particular piece because of the Camellia print on this. So they don't make this anymore. Obviously, if you are looking at the Preloved market, you will find a couple of the different pieces here. So it's not really an apples to apples comparison. The second piece I got off of Poshmark, which was authenticated, and this one I purchased for about $2,300. And if you checked out my everyday 5 best everyday bags, this is a really loved one of mine, and it's the Chanel single flap that I also got from Japan. And this one cost me about $3,000. So it's not going to run you the classic flap rates, but I really do like this one because this one is from the 1990s. I want to say like 1994. So it's definitely got the 24 karat gold hardware. So in my opinion, that is definitely worth paying a little bit more for. And again, you can see the quality of this bag is just immaculate considering. The most recent purchase, and if you want to check out my unboxing, I actually got 2 different jumbos and maxis in very similar styles. I did decide to let the maxi go because it was just way too big. For this one, I got also from the Japanese vintage market for about $3,500. The last bag that I got that's not in front of me is the medium caviar. I'll just insert a photo for reference. That one I bought when I was in Paris, 2021 during my birthday week. And after the VAT refund and conversion of the euros, I ended up paying about $7,100 for that particular bag. Brand new, comes with box, warranty, and everything. So thinking about moving forward, I do have a couple more pieces that I'm interested in adding my collection, and this is a question I am asking myself now with all of the crazy price increases. Am I going to ever set foot into a Chanel boutique and purchase another bag? Does it make sense to, or should I continue to look for pre-loved pieces? And again, 80% of my entire Chanel collection is in the vintage market, and mostly from Japan. Now, if you're insistent on getting something brand new, you don't want a vintage bag, if you're residing here in the States, definitely go to Europe. You are going to save money if you go to Europe to make those purchases. I know that's not possible for some of you, but if it is, and you happen to make a trip to Europe for, vacation and whatnot, don't be in rush to buy it now because the price increase already happened, right? The panic buying opportunity wasn't even given to you to buy here in the States. So price increase will probably happen again sometime this year, but just plan it out and see if you can hold off until you go over to Europe during the summer break or whatever, and just see if you can purchase it there. So, just to rattle off a couple of the different pieces, the Chanel medium flap right now, after taxes, is $11,220. And that's just a general like 10% tax that I'm adding on top of the list price. Now, if you go to Europe after the VAT refund and the exchange rate, you would come out to be at about 84.21. So let's just say $8,400. Of course, that is not including the custom duties that you will have to pay when you come back into the States. I did make a video on how that calculation is done if you want to check that out in a little bit more detail. But overall, if without thinking about the custom duties, you would save about 25%. I mean, that's a lot, right? Especially when you're buying high ticket items like Chanel bags. Number two, looking at the wallet on chains. So in the US, after taxes, you will be paying $36.85 approximately. Now, if you were to buy it in Europe, you would probably walk away with about $29.97. So let's just say $3,000. That's going to save you 20%. So not the 25% as the medium classic FAP, but 20% is 20%, right? Now, the one piece I do want to add still to my Chanel collection is the Chanel Mini. Whether it's the rectangular or the square flap, I'm open to both. I'm gonna check out when I go to Paris or Europe in general, see if there's any available, and if the timing is right, if the color and if the hardware is basically the stars align, I probably may consider buying it brand new. But also, I'm gonna keep an eye out on the vintage pre-loved market and see what's available as well. But talking about the minis, this is a huge saving, especially on the minis. So in the US prices, after taxes, you would be paying $53.90. Can you tell that my tone right now is getting a little bit more aggressive because this is making me mad, as I'm sure it is making all of you, right? So here in the States, $53.90. Now, if you were to purchase it in Europe, the Chanel minis in the rectangular, you would come out after the VAT refund, $35.85. That is 34% off. So if your next item is the mini, definitely try to hold off for as much as possible. 30%, 34% is going to be a lot more than 20 or 25%. So the last one that I'm thinking about maybe adding to my collection is the Chanel DeVille. And I was looking on their website. They're now calling it the shopper. There's the maxi shopper or the large shopper. So whatever the name is that particular style, right? If I were to purchase it here in the States, it would be about $59.40. If I were to purchase it in Europe, it's about $48.25, all said and done. So it's about 20% off. I might look on the vintage market if that's the case. But that is not high on my priority list. You see what I'm doing here, right? So whatever piece you're looking for, again, the newer popular ones like the Chanel 22, obviously you probably might not be able to find that on the vintage market. And of course, with all the quality issues, you really want to purchase that at all. But you see what I'm doing, right? I'm making the calculations by looking at the year prices, doing the 12-ish percent, 12.5-ish percent VAT refund, and doing the currency exchange. And I'll list that out, kind of just lay it out for you in either a pop-up or the description down below, what to look out for, do the math, and see what makes sense for you. Now, if you want to start taking a look at the pre-love or vintage routes, I've done a little bit of research. I haven't done so much research, but in general, what I've seen so far, the Chanel minis in the vintage condition, which again, I love vintage because it's better made because the hardware, look at this, it's going to be 24 karat gold. And obviously, with all of the quality condition or quality control nowadays, it doesn't hurt to look at vintage pieces, especially when you find something like this, which is in immaculate condition. Don't rule it out. Take a look first before you make a final decision. But the Chanel Mini that I've seen so far ranges from, again, the condition, right? I've seen it between $1,500 and all the way up to $3,000. But generally, it's about $2,000 on average, depending on the piece that you see. Now, for the Chanel minis and vintage Chanel classic flaps or anything that looks with the, quilted in general, there are a lot of black ones out there. So if you're looking for a beige one or maybe a different color like a red, you might have to search a little bit harder. And we'll be releasing a video relatively soon as I figure out how to use technology and properly do a screen share. If you have any suggestions, please comment down below. And by the way, if you're liking the content I'm releasing, give it a like, subscribe, help me build my channel so I can continue talking about what I love and share information for you guys as much as possible so that you don't make the same mistakes I have made over the past, 10, 15 years. Where was I? I lost track. Right, so don't rule things out when it comes to looking at vintage. They're better well made. The stitching is better. Again, this bag is from 1990, the mid 1990s, and it's still in immaculate condition. I can't say of what the pieces are now produced is going to look like in 10, 15 years. Obviously, wear and tear all factors into it, but how it's going to last, we don't know, right? Now, if you're looking at the shopper like I am, it's probably ranging around $1,800 to about $2,500 for a DeVoe or shopper, whatever they want to call it nowadays. And then for WOCs, the Chanel, on chains, you will see it between $1,500 and $2,500. So think about what you want. Now, if you want something more modern, that's going to be on the higher end. But if you go vintage, they can go as low as $1,000 that I've seen. But one thing you have to think about is that the vintage ones is just like the pin with the hole that you have to aim for it to close every single time. Now, if you don't like that, then you're going to have to go with a newer WOC where it is going to be the magnetic enclosure. For me, that's a deal breaker. I don't want to play, I don't want to play target practice, bow and arrow when it comes to closing my Chanel WOCs. I do think that the magnetic enclosure is very important. Thus, you probably will have to pay a little bit more for that. Now, if you're looking at the classic flaps, like the medium, the small, the large, whatever it is, that is going to range dramatically. So on Fashion File, or if you're looking at Rebag, I've seen the prices to be around anywhere from $6,000 to about $9,000. Depending on the color, the hardware, and what year it is. Most of them hang out around $8,000. Now, if you look at the Japanese market, that's going to range probably around $3,000 to $4,000, but most of them are going to be black with gold hardware or silver hardware. So if you like more fun colors, or if you like more, modern caramel colors, that is going to be really hard to find. And if you do find it, it's going to be outrageously priced. Then you might as well start looking at, new possibly, right? So it's just give and take in what you're looking for in terms of the caviar leather, or if it's, a smooth calfskin leather, that's all going to play into how much it's going to cost you. So I just want to make this a quick short video so that you can, mentally prepare on what you plan on doing moving forward, because the price increases, it's not going to stop. Whether it's 5%, 10%, 20%, they're still going to, implement it due to inflation, due to they want to make money, due to, they're a business, right? They're there to make money, or if it's for, exclusivity, whatever their reasoning is, it's going to happen. And what you do with that information is completely up to you. Are you going to vintage, or are you going to go still play the game and go to their store? Again, nothing wrong with either route. It's just really comes down to what you're comfortable with as well as what your budget is going to be. But whatever you do, do not panic buy. Would love it if you can hit that like button and subscribe if you are enjoying my rant here, and of course giving you as much information as I possibly can, and maybe perhaps share a different perspective, right? I want to cover topics that will help you adult easier. Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can live your best life and less than retail. See you next time.